Hello everyone. Nung last meeting, we started to learn about magnetic fields and magnetic forces. Okay, and tinignan natin yung effect ng magnetic field at saka magnetic forces na ito doon sa single charge. Okay, and nakita natin na if you have a magnetic field that is felt by this charge, yung charge na to ay makakaramdam ng magnetic force, okay, that is proportional to the charge, of course, to the velocity and to the magnetic field. Okay, and yung force na ito is also perpendicular dun sa direction ng velocity at saka ng magnetic field. Okay, so merong equation tayong ginamit or pinag-aralan to describe this force, okay, which is F is equal to Q V cross B. Okay, and nag-consider tayo ng mga ilang examples para makita natin kung paano gamitin yung um, itong forces, itong magnetic force na to. Pinag-aralan din natin yung concept ng magnetic field at nakita natin na maraming similarities in terms of dun sa electric field. Okay, ang difference, ang major difference is that sa electric field, the charges can exist on its own, but sa magnetic field, hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng single pole or tinatawag na magnetic monopole. At parating nag-occur in nature ang tawag dito mga magnets, okay, na kung saan meron silang dual charge, okay, or bipolar palate yung mga sources ng magnetic fields. Okay. Continue natin yung discussion na to ngayon, ngayong araw. Okay, at ang titignan natin, instead of a single charge, we'll consider a series of charge or sum of charges that are moving through a conductor. So itong conductor na to ay tinatawag natin na current carrying conductor because merong current na dinadala as a result of these charges that are moving, okay, through the conductor. Okay. So consider natin itong image na ito sa figure 27.25. Here we have a wire na merong charge that flows through the wire. And for simplicity, is gamitin muna natin na meron tayong positive charge na present dun sa wire. At yung velocity or yung drift velocity ng charge na yan moves in the same direction as the current density of the wire. Okay, we can determine yung current ng wire, okay, simply by noting na yung current density is just equal to the current divided by the square area. Okay, na yung area na kung saan dumadaan yung wire. So itong area na ito. Okay, so yung current density, okay, is defined as current divided by yung area niyan. Okay, so yung charge moves in the same direction as the current density. Okay, and it moves through a distance, over a distance L as indicated in the figure. Now, if you apply a magnetic field, and in this case, your magnetic field is pointing into the paper or into the page, okay, ang magiging result dito is that yung charge na yan ay makakaranas ng force that is directed to the left, okay, as shown in the figure. And that's easy enough to determine by using the right-hand rule. Okay, so we determine yung direction ng charge na yan, yung direction ng force na yan for a single charge by using the right-hand rule. Or of course, you can use vector notation, okay, by determining yung direction ng B at saka ng B in terms of yung unit vectors na I hat, J hat, saka K hat. Okay, now, ang gagawin natin is, paano kung marami ng charges na nagpo-flow dun sa wire? How do we determine yung total force na present doon? Okay, so what we're going to do is that, okay, so sabihin natin na meron tayong number density. Okay, so N is the number density. Okay, and ibig sabihin ito yung number of charges per unit volume. Okay. So if you want to determine the number of charges, then we simply need to multiply itong number density by the volume. In this figure, yung volume in this case is given by yung cross-sectional area times yung length ng wire. So this is N times L. So this is now the number that defines the number of charges, okay, that is flowing through the wire. So now we can define yung total force as this number, okay, which is flowing through the wire times charge times V times B. Okay? Medyo simple lang yung discussion natin. Hindi mo natin sasama yung sine theta because in the figure, yung drift velocity ay in the same direction or ay perpendicular dun sa magnetic field, which means na yung angle between them is 90 degrees. So if we rewrite this equation, okay, then we have NQV, okay, and then times A, and then ang matitira is yung length ng wire times yung magnetic field. Now, if you recall, NQV, okay, from yung discussion natin nung nagdi-discuss tayo ng electric field, this is the current density. And the current density multiplied by the area is the current. Okay, as we saw here in the equation na ito. Okay, so now yung force na ito is just equal to the current times the length, okay, times the magnetic field. Okay, so roughly speaking, this is the total force, okay, that is present or that the wire experiences, or that the number of charges, or that all of these charges within that volume experiences when a magnetic field is present. Okay, now to generalize, of course, okay, tawag dito. So, to generalize, we say na yung current is not necessarily in 90 degrees with respect to the magnetic field. So, meron siyang angle with respect to the magnetic field. So, ang gagawin natin is ilalagyan natin ng sin phi dito, where sin phi indicates yung angle between L and B, or I and B. Okay, but since yung I is determined by yung orientation ng wire, ang gagawin natin is yung vector na i-consider natin ay yung L, hindi yung B. Okay? So yung force therefore ay isusulat natin in terms of yung cross product ng L and B multiplied by yung current na dumadaan through the wire. Okay, so ito na ngayon yung ating equation, okay, para sa current that is moving through a wire which undergoes a magnetic field. Okay, to determine yung direction, we simply need to use yung right-hand rule tulad ng ginawa natin sa tawag dito sa um, previous na discussion, okay, sa single charge. Okay, so pag ang gagawin nyo is ilalagay nyo muna yung kamay nyo, ilapat nyo muna yung kamay nyo sa direction ng L, and then i-move nyo yung hands nyo sa direction ng B, tapos tignan nyo kung saan nakaturo yung F. Okay, so yun yung direction ng magnetic force na makukuha nyo para sa case na yon. If the current changes, if the magnetic field changes direction, tulad nung nakita niyo dito sa figure na ito, so imbis na nandito siya, okay, nakita natin na nag-move siya in this direction instead, then ito na yung magiging angle na phi, And ganun pa rin, lalagay niyo yung kamay niyo dito sa L, and then isi-sweep niyo yung hands niyo papunta sa B. So makikita niyo nakabaliktad. Pag ginawa niyo, nakabaliktad yung kamay niyo at nakaturo ngayon yung magnetic force pababa. Okay, and if the current reverses, okay, ito na ngayon yung maging angle between L and B, and then again, you put your hand along the direction of L, and then swipe it towards the direction of B, makikita nyo na yung direction ng Fi perpendicular to the plane of this image. Okay, so that's how you determine yung direction using the right hand rule. Okay, so consider natin itong example na ito. So, if we have a straight horizontal copper rod, okay, which carries a current of 50 amperes from west to east, according to the figure, okay, in a region between the poles of an electromagnet. Okay, so this is not very, this is quite common. Okay, kasi 'di ba, makikita natin na ang dami-dami mga wires na electrical wires, 'di ba? Na nakasuspend, 'di ba, between electrical poles. Okay, now what if yung mga wires na yun ay maka-experience ng magnetic field? Like for example, yung Earth's magnetic field. Ano yung influence ng magnetic field na yun dun sa wire? Okay, so ito yung example na yun. So, kaya kino-consider yung west to east na direction ng wire. Okay, so in this region, there's a horizontal magnetic field toward the northeast, okay, as shown in the figure, okay, with magnitude 1.20 Tesla. So find the magnitude and direction of the force, okay, on a 1 meter section of the rod. Okay, then while keeping the rod horizontal, how should it be oriented to maximize the magnitude of the force? And what is the force of the magnitude in this case? Okay, so let's answer letter A muna. So letter A, we have yung current, okay, flowing through the wire, and then yung magnetic field, and then yung orientation nung wire na yan. So if we draw that figure, makikita natin na yung wire, okay, yung orientation ng wire ay tawag dito ay placed in such a way na it's 45 degrees with respect to the magnetic field. So yung angle between the wire and the magnetic field is 45 degrees. So if we use the equation F is equal to ILB sine phi, then plug in yung known values, we have 50 amperes times yung length ng wire, okay, which is 1 meter, okay, times yung magnetic field na 1.20 Tesla times yung angle between the magnetic field at saka yung wire na yan. Then yung force na naramdaman ng wire na yan is 42.4 newtons. Okay, so this is already quite significant kasi if you divide this by 9.8, then this is about 4.2 or 4.3 or 4.4 kilograms. Okay, so mararamdaman na kaagad ng wire na to yung it's as if a force or it's as if a weight, okay, a weight of 4 kilograms is pulling on this wire. Pag ganyan kalaki yung magnetic field. Okay, so sa letter B, okay, while keeping the rod horizontal, okay, how should it be oriented, okay, to maximize the magnitude of the force? Okay, so to keep yung force upward, sorry, hindi ko pala nabanggit yung direction dito, no? So, yung L is in this direction and then yung B is in this direction. Okay, so yung hands nyo muna, lalagay nyo muna dito sa L and then isi-sweep nyo towards B, and makikita nyo na yung magnetic force is actually pointing out of the paper. So it's lalagay natin dito ay dot. Okay, so maglalagay tayo ng mga dots dyan kasi to indicate na it points towards the uh, upward direction. Okay. Sorry. Yung force na maramdaman is upward or out of the paper. Okay, so how do we maximize how do we maximize the magnitude of the force by keeping the rod horizontal, okay, or keeping it along this place? So, ang gagawin natin is rotate natin yung rod clockwise by 45 degrees. So, ang ibig ko sabihin is this. So, we keep, syempre yung magnetic field, hindi mo naman yun mababago. Okay, and we want to maximize yung force. So, ang gagawin natin is move natin yung rod in this way such that yung angle between yung length ng wire and yung magnetic field is 90 degrees. And in this case, yung force is still out of the paper, okay, or out of the page. Okay, so upward pa din. So in this case, para ma-maximize, okay, we have F is equal to ILB. Ang magnitude ngayon ng force na to is 50 amperes times 1 meter times 2 Tesla. So the maximum force is therefore 1.2, hindi 2 Tesla, 1.2. Ang maximum force is 60 newtons. Okay? Pag nireorient natin yung wire, okay, in this way, na 90 degrees siya with respect to the magnetic field. Okay, okay. So if you have, again, if you have any questions, okay, just feel free to take a screenshot, okay, and then ask your questions by sending your questions sa email or sa Google Spaces. Okay? Okay. So, of course, you can answer this in terms of unit vectors. Okay? Ang gagawin natin is syempre dapat mag-assign tayo ng Cartesian coordinate system. So, and if we use this type of coordinate system such that ito yung y natin, ito yung x, yan yung positive x, ito yung positive y. So, yung z natin ay pataas, di ba? So, ito yung z paakyat, okay? Pointing out of the paper. Okay, then, makikita natin that by doing that, we have yung L equals sa 1.00 meters I hat kasi it's directed towards the positive x-axis. Yung magnetic field ay equals sa, since it's 45 degrees, ang magnetic field is 1.2 Tesla times cosine ng 45 degrees plus 1.2 Tesla times sine ng 45 degrees. So, yung magnetic force ngayon is equal to yung current, which is 50 amperes, times yung unit vector, times yung L, which is 1 meter times I hat cross B, which is 1.20 Tesla times cosine 45 degrees I hat plus sine 45 degrees J hat. Okay, and alam natin ang I hat cross I hat will give us 0, pero yung I hat cross J hat will give us K hat. So this will be equal to 42.4 N hat and then K hat. Okay. So ganyan. Okay. Okay, so let's consider another example. So what if we have this wire? So now we have two sections ng wire. Kasi yung isang section ay straight at yung isang section ay curved. Okay, so how do we solve this problem then? So the magnetic field B is uniform in this case and perpendicular to the plane of the figure, pointing out of the page. So the conductor carrying current I to the left has three segments. Okay, number one, okay, yung unang segment is a straight line segment with length L. Okay, so ito yun. Okay, and number two, a semicircle with radius R. So ito. And then, di natin napansin na may third segment pala, another straight segment with length L. So, ito. And that segment is actually into the paper. Okay, so meron kang wire that is extended into the paper. Okay, so find the total magnetic field on this conductor. Okay, okay, so isa-isahin natin yan. So let's consider this segment first. So we call that segment 1, and then we call this segment the curved segment, segment 2, and then itong third segment na papasok into the paper as segment 3. So yung force, okay, dahil dun sa segment 1 ay equal sa I L1 cross B. Okay, then makikita natin yung L1, okay, according to the Cartesian coordinate system, okay, is directed, yung current niya ay towards the left, so it's ang length vector ay negative towards the negative x-axis, so negative I hat, at yung magnitude niya is L. So L times negative I hat. Tapos, yung B dito, it's outward, so its magnitude is, saan na ba yung magnitude ng B? So, lagay lang natin na B and then it's pointing outward out of the paper, so it's K hat. Okay. Okay, yun yung direction based on the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, so yung F1 dito, okay, ay equal sa, okay, so ang F1 um, ay equal sa I, L, B, and then may negative sign ka doon, so negative, and then I hat cross K hat. Okay. Now, ang I hat cross K hat. Okay, so I hat, J hat, K hat. So, I hat cross K hat is negative J hat. So, itong F na to ngayon is equal to I, L, B times J hat. That means na yung force na yun ay directed upward towards the positive x-axis. So, ito yung force na nakuha natin. Okay, so yan yung F1 or yung F force dahil sa segment 1 na yan. Okay, now, tignan muna natin yung segment 3. Kasi straight line din kasi yan. Mas madali siya i-consider. So, yung segment 3, okay, sa segment 3, okay, so, we use I L3 cross B. Ang L3 naman ngayon, which is segment 3, ay equal sa, ang length ng segment 3 is also L, okay, and then it's pointing towards the negative z-axis, so this is negative k hat. Okay, so yung F3 ngayon is ILB times negative I hat cross negative k hat. Ay, sorry. Negative k hat pala. Negative k hat cross k hat. Cross k hat. Of course, cross k hat is 0. So yung contribution nung wire dun sa total force is just 0. Yung third segment ng wire dun sa total force is just 0. Okay, now what about yung segment, yung curve na segment? So the way to do this is to solve it like kung paano natin ginawa sa electric field last time, di ba? So if you recall, meron tayong similar na example sa electric field na may curve na wire. Okay, so ang ginawa natin is kumuha tayo ng infinitesimal na segment. Okay, at ititignan natin kung ano yung magnetic force as a result of this segment. Okay, so in this segment, yung DL ay in this direction. Okay, and ito yung reason kung bakit natin is segment by segment kasi each segment iba-iba yung direction, nagbabago yung direction. So, halimbawa sa segment na to, ganito yung direction niya. Okay, so ang gagawin natin is segment natin to by segment, divide natin to very, very small segments. Tapos tignan natin yung electric force o magnetic force ng bawat segment, tapos i-add natin yung total force sa bawat segments na yan. Okay, and that's tantamount to integrating yung whole, yung buong magnetic, uh, integrating or adding up, okay, yung mga small segments or basically integration. Okay, yun yung mathematical equivalent na. So, if we consider just this segment, itong segment na to ay merong makakaramdam ng force na directed in this direction. How do we know that? Kasi, again, put your hands here sa L and then iswipe niyo yung hands niyo papunta sa direction ng magnetic field. So, paakyat. Okay, and makikita nyo na yung thumb nyo ay nakaturo sa direction na ito. Okay, so if that is the direction of force and if ito yung ating Cartesian coordinate system, then in terms of the Cartesian coordinate system, yung force na yan ay merong components sa dfx tsaka dfy. So, paano natin isusulat yung components ng force na yan in terms of the given quantities? So, yung dfx ay equal sa I and then dl tapos, di ba, remember we're considering dl and then um, b and then if we define yung dfx in relation sa df as oriented with respect to an angle theta, then ito yung ating cosine theta. Okay, now ano yung DL dito? DL is a small segment, okay, dito sa ano na to, sa wire na yan. And yung small segment na yan subtends an angle d theta. Okay, so kung ito yung ating theta, ito rin yung ating angle na theta by similar triangles, but itong angle na sinasubtend niya is d theta. And yung d theta na to, tsaka yung dl na yan is related, okay, by the radius. So, yung dl, okay, is actually r d theta. Okay, alam natin yan from s is equal to r theta and then ds is equal to r d theta. Okay, so pwede natin i-replace ngayon yung dfx, yung dl dun sa dfx ng I, R, B, cosine theta, d theta. Okay, now yung dfy, we can write in the same way, I, R, B, pero this time, since ito yung component siya along the y-axis ng df, ang gagamitin natin is sine theta, then d theta. Now, we only need to integrate over the angle theta. Okay, so from this angle, which is 0 to, okay, to this angle, which is pi. Okay, so ang fx natin ngayon, okay, yung x component ng force natin ngayon ay equal sa I R B integral from 0 to pi ng cosine theta d theta. Okay, and ang integral ng cosine theta d theta, okay, is negative sine theta evaluated from 0 to pi. Now, sine pi is 0 and sine 0 is 0. So, yung x component ay 0. Okay, and yung fy naman, okay, ay equal sa IRB integral from 0 to pi sine theta d theta. Okay, so IRB and then ang integral ng sine theta. Sorry, positive to. Integral ng sine theta is, ito yung negative cosine theta. Okay, evaluated from 0 to pi. Ang negative, ang Okay, ang cosine pi is negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. And then ang cosine 0 is 0. So this will be equal to, cosine 0 is 0. So this will be equal to 2. Okay? Fy is equal to, okay, IRB okay, times 2. Okay? Okay, so yung force ngayon, uh, of course, it's important to indicate na ito yung dahil sa segment 2, so lalagay natin ng 2 dyan. Okay, so yung F2 ngayon, okay, is actually directed towards the positive y-axis. So it's 2IRB and then J. Okay? Kasi y component lang yung nag-survive. Now, it's easy to see kung bakit wala kang components along the x-axis. Kasi kung titignan niyo tong ano to, kung titignan niyo tong DL na ito, yung DFX niya ay nandito. At kung titignan niyo yung opposite, okay, yung symmetrically opposite na ano na segment na yan, okay, yung DFX naman niya ay nandito. Okay? So lahat ng mga x components dito will cancel with the x components dito. So kaya magzi-zero yung x components, okay, nung force na yan. At ang magsusurvive lang ay yung y components nung force. Okay, so yung total force natin ngayon, okay, so ang total force, sorry, ayusin natin yung ating solution. Okay, so i-move ko lang ito ng konti dito. Okay, and then i-move ko naman itong dalawa na to. Sorry. Isa muna. Move ko to dito, and then move ko to dito. Okay. And then, so yung total force natin ngayon is the vector sum of all the three forces, F1, F2 plus F3. Ang F1 ay ILBJ hat. So ILBJ hat. Ang F2 is 2. ILBJ hat plus 0. So yung total force ay equal ngayon sa 3 ay hmm, IRB pala. Sorry. 2IRB. 2IRB J hat plus 0. So yung total force, okay, I equals sa IB times 2R plus LJ hat. Okay, so yan yung ating total na force na na-experience nung segment na ito. Okay, nung lahat ng segments na yan. Okay? Okay. Okay, so now that we have considered these examples and I hope na naintindihan niyo kung paano siya nag-work. Okay, i-consider natin ngayon itong current carrying wire sa isang loop. Okay, so itong loop na ito ay merong current, okay, na indicated by the purple arrows. Okay, so it moves in that direction. Tapos meron ding magnetic field, okay, na present, okay, that this loop experiences. Okay. So let's now solve for the total force that this loop experiences. Oh, excuse me. Okay, yung total force dito, we can determine by first looking at yung force on each of the segments. Okay? So, let's consider first itong segment na nandito. So, itong segment na ito. Okay? So, dyan sa segment na yan, okay, we have that current, it's in that direction. Okay? And yung magnetic field is in this direction. Okay, and if you use the right hand rule, okay, makikita natin na yung force ay in this direction. Okay, dun sa ini-indicate nung red na arrow. On the other hand, kung ititignan naman natin itong segment na ito, okay, the current is now in the opposite direction, yung magnetic field is still in the same direction, and if you use yung right hand rule, putting your hands here and then you sweep towards the magnetic field, makikita natin na yung Fi in this direction, which is opposite, okay, dito sa direction na ito. Okay, so yung total force, okay, as a result of simply just these two wires is equal to zero. Okay? Okay, so then consider natin itong tawag dito, yung sa ano na to, sa wire na to. Okay, dito sa baba. Okay, so ang mangyayari dyan is we have that current which is moving towards this direction and we have magnetic field in this direction, and if you use the right hand rule, then ang gagawin ng force ay ipupull niya tong segment ng wire in this direction. Okay, and finally, if you consider itong wire na ito, okay, we have this current moving in this direction dun sa wire. Ito pa rin yung ating magnetic field, and if you use the right hand rule, lagay niyo yung kamay dito sa I, sweep niyo papunta sa B, we have this force, okay, that will pull itong segment ng wire na to in this direction. Okay, so anong net force nito ngayon? Anong total force? So alam natin na itong dalawang forces will cancel each other out. Okay? Pero itong dalawang forces na ito, okay, itong dalawang forces na ito will not cancel each other out kasi tilted yung tawag dito, yung loop o yung wire, di ba? So it's as if ganito yung pag tinitingnan natin sa side view, ito yung side view niya, ito yung force dun sa taas, at ito naman yung force dun sa baba. At ito yung axis. So mangyayari is magro-rotate ngayon, okay, yung loop na yan. Okay, so magkukos yan ng rotation. Okay? So kung meron kayong ganitong klaseng loop, okay, na oriented in that way, merong angle with respect to the magnetic field, okay? Ito yung ating magnetic field. Okay, ang gagawin ng magnetic field ay i-cause niya, mag-exert siya ng forces dun sa dalawang segments na nandito. Okay, at yung force, as a result, yung force will be directed in this way at saka this way, and it will rotate yung loop of wire na yan in this direction. So sa orientation na to, sa side view na to, it's in the clockwise na direction. So it actually produces what we call a torque. Okay? So of course, yeah, if we sum all the forces, zero talaga yan, di ba? Pero meron pa rin siyang, if we sum yung linear na forces, zero yan. Pero kung consider natin yung rotational na force, which is yung torque, then yung torque is not necessarily uh, zero. Okay? So we say na the net force on a current loop, okay, in a uniform magnetic field is zero. Okay, however, the net torque is not in general equal to zero. Okay, so ganito ang nangyayari din dyan. So if we have this tawag dito, wire that's oriented in this direction, okay, yung forces dito at saka dito will cancel. Yung force na ito, yung linear force will cancel. But itong force na ito will cause this to rotate in that way, at itong force na ito will cause the loop to rotate in this way. So magkakaroon ka ngayon ng torque. Yung linear forces, total linear forces is zero, pero yung torque is not zero. Okay? Tapos, saan siya mag-end up? It will end up in this way. So, may force ka dito, may force ka dito, force ka dito, at may force ka dito. Again, yung linear force is zero. Okay, and when it rotates, it will rotate in the towards this orientation. Okay, of course, may ano yan, may inertia yan. So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin siyang mag-rotate. And as it rotates, magkakaroon ka ulit ng forces that will cause the loop, okay, to shift back, okay, dun sa orientation na ito. Okay? So, ang mangyayari dyan is pwedeng mag-rotate back and forth. But if you design it correctly and if you change the direction of the current correctly, pwede mo actually paikutin yung loop. At ito yung titignan natin dito. First, i-consider muna natin kung ano yung torque dito. Okay, if you recall, yung torque is given by R cross F. Okay, so yung torque, okay, is R cross F. Now, ano yung R in this case? Okay, so ang R is the distance from the axis of rotation to the point kung saan nag-act yung force. And if this length is B, okay, then this length here is B over 2. So that's due to this force. So that force causes a torque. Ngayon, itong force na to also causes the loop to rotate. So, dalawang forces yung nagkakos ng pag-rotate ng loop na yan. And yung force na yan is a distance b over 2 as well, okay, with respect to the axis of rotation. So, yung torque natin ngayon, isusulat natin as R, which is b over 2. And then, times 2, kasi dalawa yung forces na nandoon. And then, F. Okay, tapos, equal ngayon to sa, and then, of course, equal to sa, kailangan natin ilagay yung sign ng phi. Kasi, yung phi dito is yung angle between yung R at saka yung F. Okay, now, we know na yung force, okay, force dyan sa current carrying wire na yan is ILB. And in this figure, yung L natin is A. Okay, yung length ng wire na yan. Okay, so A and A yan. So I, L, which is A, and then B, and cancel syempre yung 2 na yan, di ba? Cancel na yan, 2 na yan. And then I, L, B, and then sign ng angle na phi. Ngayon, yung A times B, kung titignan nyo rito sa loop na ito, yung A is this one, and then yung B is this one. It's nothing but the area of the loop. Okay, so we can write this as I times the area of the loop times B times sine ng angle between yung R at saka nung F. Okay, now, in physics, okay, we write this quantity, product ng current at saka ng I, as mu. Okay, so yung product ng current at saka ng area is mu. Okay, at ang tawag natin dyan ay magnetic dipole moment or magnetic moment. Okay, so that's a very important property, okay, or parameter, okay, to describe yung behavior ng mga systems na may mga loops na ganyan. Okay, so we can then write the torque as equal to mu b sine phi, or if we want to write it in vector notation, yung torque is just equal to mu, the magnetic moment, cross b, yung magnetic field. Okay, so ano-ano bang mga systems, okay, ang makikita natin in nature na merong loop? Well, alam natin, siguro napag-aralan niyo na sa somewhere sa high school, di ba, ng atom, for example. Okay, is composed of a nucleus. Okay, yan yung nucleus. And then merong electron, oops. And then merong electron na umiikot around the nucleus. Okay, now, if you apply a magnetic field, okay, dyan sa oops, if you apply a magnetic field, okay, dyan sa atom na yan, sa hydrogen atom, let's say, then yung pag-ikot ng electron na yon around the pag-ikot ng electron around the nucleus, okay, we can think of as a wire tulad na nandito dito. And if that ang gagawin ng magnetic field na yan is that i-rotate niya ngayon i-orient niya ngayon yung hydrogen atom na yan in the same way na yung magnetic field causes a force that orients itong loop na ito, okay, in a specific direction. So, pwede niyang i-rotate in a specific direction yung yung buong atom. Okay? And ganyan nakikipag-interact. Okay? Or ganyan yung simple na picture ng interaction ng isang atom or ng isang molecule, okay, with the magnetic field. Okay, so kaya importante kaya importante itong magnetic dipole moment or magnetic moment kasi it actually exists in nature sa mismong atom, okay, where you have electrons going around the nucleus, where you can consider yung rotation ng electrons going around the nucleus as wires. Pag nag-interact sila with the magnetic field, pwede mag-rotate or pwede tawag dito, pwede orient in a specific direction itong lahat ng mga molecules na yan. So imagine niyo kung marami kayong hydrogen atoms and kalat-kalat yung orientation nila. Pero apply ka ng magnetic field, magiging pare-pareho ngayon yung orientation ng hydrogen atoms na yan. And it's just not just for hydrogen atoms, it's also for higher energy, for higher atoms like iron for example, di ba? So yung iron also has a lot of electrons. Kaya meron din siya mga orbits. And if you apply a magnetic field dun sa iron, then yung lahat ng iron molecules, lahat ng iron atoms na yan, okay, ay mag-orient in specific direction. Okay? So ganun ka-importante itong itong magnetic moment na ito. Kaya natin din na-describe yan. Now, when an atom rotates, okay, or when this type of system rotates, okay, then meron siya na-generate na energy, okay? Or as soon as makaramdam siya ng magnetic field, yung loop na yan ay makakaramdam ng energy or magkikerry ng energy. Okay, at ang tawag natin sa energy na yun is potential energy. Okay, so yung potential energy for a magnetic dipole in a magnetic field is given by this. U is equal to negative mu dot B. Okay, or mu B cosine. Okay, cosine ng pi. Okay, so it's a dot product between the magnetic dipole moment and the magnetic field. So makikita natin dito na yung mu and B, okay, ay parallel sa isa't isa. Okay, then yung potential energy, okay, is pag parallel sila sa isa't isa, ibig sabihin yung angle between them is 0. Okay, then yung potential energy is 0. Sorry, 1. And if yung magnetic dipole moment ay oriented 90 degrees with respect to the magnetic field, ang cosine ng 90 is 0. So, ibig sabihin, yung magnetic field, so yung potential energy is also 0. And if we look back in this figure, remember na ang magnetic dipole moment is a product of I and A. So kung ano man yung direction ng vector na A, yun din yung magiging direction ng magnetic dipole moment. It's a vector quantity. So yung magnetic dipole moment is this one. So if the magnetic dipole moment and B are oriented in the same direction, okay, then pareho yung anong tawag dito, yung kanilang potential energy is maximum. As we see in this figure. Okay, so maximum yung potential energy yan. Okay, on the other hand, pag oriented sila 90 degrees with respect to each other, tulad na nakita natin dito, yung kanilang potential energy I zero. Okay. Okay. Sige, consider natin tong example na ito. So we have this magnetic circular coil. Tingnan natin kung ano yung torque as a result of the magnetic field is being exerted on this coil. So a circular coil na merong radius na 0.05 meters, okay, na may 30 turns of wire lies in a horizontal plane. It carries a counterclockwise, okay, as viewed from above, a current of 5 amperes. So the coil is in a uniform 1.20 Tesla magnetic field directed toward the right. Okay, so find the magnitudes of the magnetic moment and the torque of the coil. So yung direction ng magnetic moment is already indicated in the figure. So yung magnitude na lang ang tignan natin. So yung magnitude is equal to I times A. Ang current is, nasaan na yung current? 5 amperes. Okay, 5 amperes yung current. Sorry, 5 amperes yung current. Ang radius ng wire is 0.5 meters. Meron 30 turns and then 1.20 Tesla yung magnetic field. Okay, so yung current through the wire is 5 amperes, pero that's for a single loop. Pero so meron ka 30 turns, so multiply pa natin to by 30. Okay, and then yung area is given yung radius, yung area is pi r squared, so 0.050 meters squared. So yung magnetic moment dito ngayon ay equal sa 1.18 ampere per square meter. Okay, yung unit na magnetic moment is ampere multiplied by square meter, which is yung unit ng area. Okay, and then magnitude of the magnetic moment and the torque on the coil. So knowing the magnetic moment, we can now solve for the torque. So mu times mu times mu cross B, di ba? And makikita natin na yung mu and B are oriented 90 degrees with respect to each other. So yung sine ng angle between them is 90. So yung so yung torque is just equal to mu times B. So ang mu we already computed to be 1.18 square meters, and then yung magnetic field is 1.20 Tesla. So yung torque dito is 1.41 Newton meter. Okay, so 1.41 Newton meter yung torque. Okay. Okay, then tignan natin ngayon dito yung potential energy for the coil ng magnetic field. So same system, okay, pero ngayon i-compute natin yung change in potential energy. So how do we solve for that? Let's say na yung initial position niya is at theta equals 90 degrees. And then so, sabi rito, it rotates from its initial orientation to one in which its magnetic moment mu is parallel to B. So, mu is parallel to B. So, ibig sabihin, yung initial orientation niya is this one. So, dyan yung angle is 90. And then yung U is parallel to B, yung angle between them will be 0. So yung change in potential energy ngayon is equal to U2 minus U1, and based on this equation, negative UB cosine phi. So mu B times cosine phi 1 minus negative mu B cosine ng phi 2. Okay? So, equal ngayon to actually yung mu B is the same, at na-compute na natin yung mu B, okay, which yan yung torque, diba? So, 1.41 Newton meter, okay, mu B, times yung cosine ng angle between them. So, ang first is, ang cosine ng phi 1 is 90 degrees, negative plus cosine ng 0. Okay. Ang cosine ng 90 is 0 and ang cosine ng 1 is 1. So, ang delta U ngayon is equal to negative 1.41 joules. Okay, so yan yung change in potential energy. Okay, when you rotate the coil from this orientation, okay, to this orientation. Okay, na kung saan yung magnetic moment ay in the same direction as the magnetic field. Okay. Okay. Sige. Okay, so finally we end up dito sa isang application, okay, nung coil na ito. So, ang isang application niya is this DC motor or direct current na motor. Okay, so direct current na motor. Okay, andi dito yung loop. Okay, so kitang-kita natin yung loop na yan. So, ang gagawin natin dito is mag-apply tayo ng uh, potential such that mag-produce tayo ng current na oriented in this direction. Now, we have this device here which is called a brush or a commutator. Is basically ang ginagawa lang yan kasi we need this loop to rotate, di ba? So basically ang ginagawa lang yan is magro-rotate to. And it rotates or yung device na to is in contact with this brush. Okay, so para mag-flow yung current, kailangan mag-flow siya to the brush and then through this device na ito. Okay, so if they're in contact, they mag-flow yung current in this direction, and then going back there. Okay? So, pag ganyan yung case, okay, ngayon, ang gagawin natin is mag-apply din tayo o maglalagay din tayo ng magnetic field, north and south. Okay, so alam naman natin yung orientation ng magnetic field in this case. Okay, ang orientation ng magnetic field, KI, from north to south, so ganyan yung magiging orientation niya. So dito sa wire na to, makakaroon siya magnetic field in this way. Ito dito. So dito ang force is IB. So ang force is pababa at dito naman ang force ay paakyat. Okay? So magro-rotate ngayon magro-rotate yung buong system na yun ngayon. Okay? And yan yung direction ng rotation. Okay, as indicated in the figure. Okay, so in that orientation, yung magnetic moment ay in this direction at yung B ay in this direction. So, yung potential ay zero. So, magkakaroon ngayon ng torque which causes yung loop na yan to rotate in this direction. Pagdating sa orientation na ito, okay, pagdating sa orientation na yan, okay, yung magnetic field is of course oriented in the same way. Yung magnetic moment ngayon ay in this direction. Okay, but anong tawag dito? Since meron kang gap dito, yung current ay zero. So wala magfo-flow na current. Okay, so actually yung magnetic moment is zero. So in this case, ang torque mo rin is zero kasi di ba, ang torque is mu times mu cross B. Since ang mu is zero, tawag dito, yung torque ay zero. So walang magnetic torque that is acting on the rotor. So ano ang mangyayari dito? Anong mangyayari next dito? Now, remember, nagro-rotate ito. So, ibig sabihin, meron kang inertia. So, ibig sabihin, magko-continue siya mag-rotate in the same direction. And when that happens, yung blue na area naman ng curve ngayon, ang nandoon na sa left side, okay, siya naman yung makakaranas ng current that is moving in this direction, at yung red na loop naman ay makakaranas ng current that's in this direction. So, similarly, yung force pa rin, yung force ay pababa dito at paakyat doon. So magro-rotate pa rin siya in this direction. So magpapatuloy lang siya ng rotation. And that's how a DC motor works. Okay. So as long as you apply current here and you have this, as long as you apply current here and then you have this commutator there, Okay, pagdating niya sa orientation na ito, walang current pero may inertia ka, di ba? So tutuloy lang siya ng pag-ikot at dahil sa inertia na yon, magkakaroon ngayon ng contact itong brush na ito with the blue area or with the blue curve and with the blue loop. So ipupull niyo pa rin niya yung loop na yan na mag-rotate in this direction. Okay, and that's how a direct current motor works. Okay, so ito ay isang example din ng direct current pero dito marami ka ng loops of wire. Pero the principle is still the same. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Now, for this particular case sa DC motor, okay, yung voltage na kailangan mong i-apply ay equal sa VAB. Okay. Voltage na kailangan mong i-apply dun sa, sa loop ay equal sa yung EMF, okay, dahil dun sa dahil dun sa tawag dito, dahil dun sa source ng voltage plus yung I times R, which is yung internal resistance ng motor. So itong loop na yan ay meron ding internal na resistance. Okay? So yung total voltage ngayon is the sum of the EMF, okay, given by this and yung current na dumadaan dito multiplied by yung resistance ng wire na yan. Okay? So yun yung yun yung governing equation for that. Okay, so if we consider this example, a DC motor with its rotor and field coils connected in series has an internal resistance of 2 ohms. Okay, when running at full load on a 120-volt line, okay, it draws a current of 4 amperes. Okay, so what is the EMF in the rotor? Okay, and what is the power delivered to the motor? What is the rate of dissipation of energy in the internal resistance? Letter D, what is the mechanical power developed? Okay, and letter E, what is the motor's efficiency? And F, what happens if the machine being driven by the motor jams so that the rotor suddenly stops turning? Okay, so isa-isahin natin yan. So A, ano muna yung EMF? Yung 120 volts na line, syempre yan yung source mo, di ba? So 120 volts, okay? And yung EMF, okay, so yung 120 volts na yan is distributed dun sa EMF ng rotor, okay, plus yung current na dumadaan dun sa rotor times yung internal resistance, okay? At alam natin itong internal resistance na yan, so sinasolve natin dito ay letter A. Yung internal resistance na yan is 2 ohms. Okay, at yung current na dumadaan sa kanya is 4 amperes. So yung EMF, okay, is equal to 112 volts. Yung power delivered to the motor. Ano yung power delivered to the motor? Hindi tayo. Anong power delivered to the motor? So, dun sa buong motor, 120 volts yung voltage. So, yung power delivered, tawagin natin siyang input power. That's VAB, okay, times I, which is equal to 120 volts times yung 4 ampere na current na nag-generate. Okay, so, yung power doon is 480 watts. Letter C, what is the rate of dissipation of energy? Okay, so of course, in the internal resistance. So of course, yung internal resistance converts this energy into heat. So yung rate of dissipation ng energy na yan is I squared times R. So 4 amperes squared times yung internal resistance na 2 ohms. Okay, and equal ngayon to sa 448 watts. Okay, so ano ngayon, ang next question is what is the mechanical power developed? And yung mechanical power is basically yung difference in power between the input and the dissipated power. So which is basically yung output power. So this is the input power minus the dissipated power. So equal to sa 480 watts minus 448 watts, okay, or equal to sa, sorry, mali. Um, sorry, this is 32 watts. Masyadong malaki. 32 watts, and this is 32 watts. So this is 448 watts. Okay. Okay. So yan yung power output. Okay. And then what is the motor's efficiency? So letter E, ano yung efficiency ng motor? Meron kang input power na 480 watts, pero yung output power is just 448 watts. So, hindi lahat nagagamit kasi some of it is dissipated. Yung efficiency is described by this ratio. Yung ratio ng output power, okay, so yung efficiency, E, is the ratio of the output power to the input power. So, this is 448 watts. Okay, divide by 480 watts. So this is equal to 0.93, which means na 93% lang ng input power yung nagagamit niya para i-rotate. Okay, yung i-rotate yung loop na yan. Okay, and if the rotor is stalled, okay, sa letter F, okay, yung EMF goes to 0. Okay, itong EMF na ito magzi-zero yan. Okay, bakit? Kasi wala ka ng voltage na nag-generate, di ba? Kasi tumigil nga yung yung rotor mo, di ba? So walang output voltage, in other words. Which means na yung lahat ng input power, input voltage mo ay mapupunta lang sa internal resistance. So in that case, ang current mo is 120 volts divided by the internal resistance na 2 amperes or 2 ohms or 60 amperes. And yung power na na-dissipate mo as a result of that is uh, 60 amperes. Okay, 60 amperes squared times 2 ohms or 7,200 watts. Okay? So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin nito is that pag tumigil, okay, yung pag-ikot ng motor na yan, okay, pag tumigil yung pag-ikot ng motor na yan, yung EMF, okay, wala na siyang output power. At lahat ng input power niya, okay, ay mapupunta dun sa resistance, okay, ng wire. Okay? And it will produce a power which is 7,200 watts. At anong gagawin nung resistor diyan? Iko-convert niya lahat ng 7,000 lahat ng energy na yan to lahat ng electrical energy na yan to heat. Okay? So that's 7,200 watts of heat that's being generated. Okay, kaya pag nag-stall yung motor, 'di ba? Pag meron kayong motor diyan na tumigil, kaya expect nyo na mag-generate yan ng heat kaya umiinit yung mga motors na yan pag tumigil yung motors. Okay? So, ganyan yung nangyayari dyan. Okay. So, again, at this point, you can take a break. Okay, kukontinue ko lang yung pag-discuss. Okay, but of course, at anytime naman pwede naman kayong mag-take ng break. Okay, pause. Anytime na kailangan ninyo. Okay, pero tutuloy ko lang yung discussion.